Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Knowledge is Money. In this session we are discussing about laws of motion. Okay, let us begin this session. Newton's law of motion or laws of motion. Next, Newton's first law of motion. The first law of motion is also called law of inertia. Statement: everybody or every object will remain at the state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change its state by the action of the external unbiased force. That means everybody to be continuous in the state of rest or uniform motion unless compelled by the external unbiased force. That means the body which remains at rest, it always want to remains at rest, or the body which is in motion which always wanted to keep the motion. Okay, Newton's law state that without any unbiased force applied on the object which is at rest or which is at uniform motion, no body can stops or moves. The resting body moves or the movement body stops. Okay, this states Newton's first law. That means every object to be continuous to be in its state of rest or uniform motion unless compelled by the external unbiased force. Here unbiased force means imbalanced force. That means if 5 Newton of force acting on both direction on the same body, the body can't move. That is balanced force. Unbiased force means imbalanced force. Okay. See the image. With no outside forces, this object will never move. This ball can't move without any unbiased force applied on the ball. That means ball always wanted to keep its rest position. In the second image, the ball is moving. Okay, with no outside forces, this object will never stop. The ball can't stop moving without any external unbiased forces acting on it. It may be frictional force or muscular force. Okay, the ball continued to move without any external unbiased force acting on it. This states Newton's first law. That means every object to be continuous to be in a state of rest or uniform motion unless compelled by some external unbiased force. Simply, the body which is at in rest position, it always wanted to be in its rest position, or the body which is in uniform motion, it always wanted to be in its uniform motion unless compelled by its external unbiased force. Okay, next example for Newton's first law. Car at a stoplight. The resting or the stopped car on a signal. This is also example for Newton's first law because it is at in rest position. It always wanted to be in rest position. Ice skating. The ice skater sliding over the ice, he wanted to continue in uniform motion to slide over the ice. That is the example for Newton's first law. Soccer ball at rest. The resting ball is also a example for Newton's first law. Swinging pendulum. The pendulums are swinging to and fro. That means without any external unbiased force acting on the pendulum, no pendulum can stop its moving. Space travel. We already know that the spacemans or spaceships always continues to be in its uniform motion unless stopped by external some unbiased force. Okay, roller coaster. The roller coaster always wants to be in its rolling motion without any applying some unbiased force. Okay, the roller coaster always wants to in its moving. That means the roller coaster always rolls without stopped by any external unbiased force. Okay.
Start. Hi friends, in today's session I am explaining about Newton's first law. Newton's first law states that everybody to be continuous in a state of rest or uniform motion unless the external unbiased force acting on it. That means, see the book which is present on the table which is at in rest position. When I apply some unbiased force, the book is start to move on the table. That means without applying any unbiased force, no object can move. This states Newton's first law.
Start.
See, there is another example for Newton's first law. See, the chalk piece is sliding over the scale. If there is no friction present on the table, the chalk piece continues to be in its uniform motion. That means a frictional force opposes the motion of the chalk piece. This states Newton's first law. Okay. This is all about Newton's first law. Newton's first law states that everybody to be continuous in a state of rest or uniform motion unless the external unbiased force acting on it.
Law of inertia. Law of inertia is also called Newton's first law of motion. Inertia means it is a tendency of objects in motion to stay in motion, and objects at our rest position which always wanted to stay at rest unless a force caused its speed or direction to change. That means it is a tendency of objects which oppose motion or which oppose its position. Okay, inertia is simply defined as it is a tendency of objects in motion to stay in motion and objects which are at in rest to stay at rest unless a force causes its speed or direction to change. For example, see in a trolley there is a bowl of water. The trolley moves and it hits the hand. That means when the trolley hits the hand, the water present on the trolley continues to be motion in that direction. When trolley hits the hand, the water comes out. That means the water present in a bowl do not want to stop. That means which always keep its movement. That means so it comes out. Simply Newton's law of motion or first law of motion or law of inertia means it is a tendency of a object to oppose any state of rest, direction or moment. Okay. In this experiment we learned that when trolley moving, the water present on the bowl is also moving in that direction of a trolley. When trolley hit the hand, the water present on the bowl comes out. That means the water wanted to be moves in that direction. Always wanted to be moves in that direction. Okay. That is the example for inertia of motion.
Hi friends, I am Manjunasi. Today I am conducting one experiment for Newton's first law of motion. It is also called law of inertia. The requirement for the experiment is one plate and one marble. See, I have taken plate. Now I am placed marble inside the plate. Now see, I am shaking the plate. The marble rolls over the circumference of the plate. When I am shaking the plate, see, when I stop shaking the plate, the marble does not stop instantly. The marble continues to be moves in its uniform motion along the circumference of the plate. Okay. The reason why the marble does not stops when I stop the shaking the plate is the marble experiences some law of inertia of motion. That means law of inertia of motion keeps the marble in its uniform motion. So law of inertia states that law of inertia means it is the natural tendency of an object to resist in a state of rest or uniform motion to the applied unbalanced force. So that force keeps the marble in the state of inertia of motion, so the marble do not stop when I stop shaking the plate. It is continuously circles around the circumference of the plate with uniform speed. Okay, thank you.